Welcome back to Refresh everyone. We have lots of things to cover today, so without wasting any time, let's get started. First news is about RBI. The Reserve Bank of India on April 11 increased the trading hours for various markets regulated by it. The trading hours were tweaked with effect from April 7, 2020 in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, with the substantial easing of restriction on movement of people and functioning of offices, the central bank has decided to restore the opening time for regulated financial markets to their pre-pandemic timing of 9 am. Accordingly, with effect from April 18, 2022, the trading hours for markets regulated by the Reserve Bank would be as under. In a separated development, the RBI and Securities and Exchange Board of India are considering the possibility of synchronizing the trading time for all markets that include stocks, bonds, currency, and commodities. The aim is to ensure easy for operation for investors betting across the asset classes as well as for the backend. Next news is about oil prices. Oil drops below $100. Oil prices dropped by $4 a barrel on Monday, with Brent crude tumbling below $100 on plans to release record volume of crude and oil products from strategic stocks and on continuing coronavirus lockdown in China. Brent crude for June delivery was down $3.93, means 3.8% at $98.85 a barrel by 11:30 GMT US. West Texas Intermediate crude lost $4.19, means 4.3% to $94.07. Bank of America maintained its forecast for Brent crude to average $102 a barrel for 2022 to 2023, but it cut its summer spike price to $120. International Energy Agency's member nations will release 60 million barrels over the next 6 months, with the United States matching that as part of its 180 million barrel release announced in March. Next news is about Tata Power. Saudi Arabia's public investment fund in looking to buy a stake in Tata Power Corporated Limited, green energy, power transmission and distribution businesses, according to sources. Next news is about TCS. Tata Consultancy Services on Monday announced its fourth quarter result for financial year 2021-2022. The tech services giant's net profit rose and revenue grew amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The software giant reported a 7.4% rise in March quarter profit as more businesses across the world leaned on technology and related services to drive their operations. TCS revenue crossed rupees 50,000 crore for the first time as it rose 15.8% to rupees 50,591 crore in quarter 4. Next news is about Apple. Apple has started the production of its latest phone, the iPhone 13, in India at the Chennai plant of its manufacturing partner Foxconn. The company will look to deepen its presence in India, which happens to be the world's second largest smartphone market behind China, and to grow its market share in India. The Silicon Valley giant said, "We are excited to begin making iPhone 13 right here in India for our local customers." With the fresh announcement, the company is now manufacturing all of its latest models in India with two of its manufacturing partners, Foxconn and Wistron. Along with the two, Pegatron, the third Indian manufacturer of iPhones, will start manufacturing iPhone 12 in India. Next news is about e-commerce. The e-commerce platforms in India may have to ensure soon that there is no bias or partiality in their algorithms that favors particularly sellers, according to proposed rules that the Indian government is working on. It will be compulsory for the e-commerce platforms to show search results of several sellers instead of just focusing on preferred sellers if the proposed rules come into force. Moreover, the rules will be a part of framework for open network for digital commerce, according to a report. ONDC has been at the center of discussion since the Indian government announced the project in July 2021. Next news is about KOTAK and JSPL. Jindal Steel and Power Limited (JSPL) shares rose on Monday after Kotak Institutional Equities raised its target price for the stock by 23.9%. JSPL shares finished the day 1.4% higher at rupees 571.1 apiece on BSE, having risen as much as 2.6% to rupees 577.7 during the session. Next news is about UK's economy. Britain's economic growth slowed in the February amid declines in the production of cars, computers and chemicals. Gross domestic products increased just 0.1% from month earlier, down from the 0.8% growth reported in January. The output of productive industries, including manufacturing, mining and power generations, dropped 0.6% in the month. Those declines largely offset an increase in service industries driven by an 8.6% jump in accommodation and food services. Next news is about domestic air passengers. India's domestic air passenger traffic is estimated to have grown by around 59% year on year to 84 million in financial year 22, although it is still about 40% lower as compared to pre-pandemic level. It also expects elevated aviation turbine fuel ATF prices aggravated by geopolitical issues to remain a near-term challenge for the industry and will be key determination of profitability for the sector. Next news is about Godrej Industries. With the aim of scaling up its ambition in financial services sector, Godrej Industries Limited today announced the launch of Godrej Capital Limited. The business will expand its retail operation in 6 new cities this financial year in addition to diversifying customer segments and launching new business lines. With a near-term aim of building an 30,000 rupees crore balance sheet by 2026, Godrej Industry Limited has committed to invest 1,500 crore rupees in capital in the financial services arm and expects the business to require a total of 5,000 crore rupees of equity investment by 2026. Next news is about UPI Payment. UPI recorded an unprecedented growth of 540 crore transaction worth 9.60 lakh rupees crore in March 2022, 19.6% higher than February's total of 452 crore transaction worth 8.26 lakh crore rupees. Once again, PhonePe led the UPI members with rupees 47.14 lakhs crore transactions. Google Pay maintained its second lead with rupees 9.39 lakh crore transactions. Together, the two commanded a little over 84% of UPI market. Next news is about health tech startup Medfin bags. Healthcare startup Medfin has raised a $15 million in Series B funding. The fresh funds will be used for expansion in more than 25 cities across the country. The startup will also invest in R&D technology process and people. Next news is about Delhi University. The Delhi University would set up 2 not-for-profit companies to seek funds from alumni and to promote innovation. The university has entered its centenary year, so there should be some policy reform to make university a better place. Next news is about Piyush Bansal. IPO bond eyewear giant Lenskart is raising close to $100 million in fresh round of investment from Alphaville Ventures. The development has come 9 months after it raised $315 million at a valuation of $2.5 billion. Piyush Bansal led Lenskart to receive $100 million in Indian rupees 760 crore, has allotted around 3.6 million series. Next news is about Apple. There has been a lot of chatter in the tech world over redesigned MacBook Air, Apple's most popular Mac laptop. It might be coming at Apple June event. In the latest Power On newsletter, German says Apple is going to release 2 new Macs in middle of the year. According to reporter, one of these will be the all-new redesigned MacBook Air. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching video. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel. See you tomorrow.